When most people hear the words home care, they instantly think of the basics. You know, the cleaning, the cooking, the bathing, maybe some medication reminders. And those things are important, no doubt. But anyone who's worked in a home with someone who's aging knows that it's not always the tasks that wear them down. It's the silence. And that's today's topic, the hidden value of companionship. You see, because any great caregiver will tell you, tasks keep the body going, but it's the companionship that keeps the spirit alive. For example, we provide care for an older gentleman. He's a retired mailman and damn proud of it. And he'll let you know every day he doesn't need your help. And he's right. For the most part, he can. But one day, one of our experienced and compassionate caregivers sat down with him and asked him about his old route. When I say he lit up, I mean it meant the world to him. He reminisced about every house, every dog, every kid who'd waited out a mailbox. In that moment, he wasn't just cared for, he was seen. You can't put that on a checklist. And there's no medical billing code for it. Listen to retired mailman stories. But in that moment, he wasn't just cared for, he was seen. And that's the hidden value of companionship. And let's be real, we all know that we can keep an older adult busy. Turn on a TV set, maybe set out a puzzle, flip through a magazine while flipping through some channels. But that's not companionship. Companionship isn't about passing time. It's about sharing time. Let's talk about the difference. Turning on a cooking show for someone who used to love being in the kitchen versus watching it with them, asking them questions about the chef's knife skills, or jokingly saying how you wouldn't make it through an episode of Chopped. That's connection. Or folding the laundry alone. That's just another chore. Versus folding the laundry together and joking about how socks still go missing at the age of 80. That's companionship. And remember, it's not about the task, it's about the tone. Companionship is subtle, but very, very powerful. And here's what most families forget. Loneliness doesn't always look like tears and sadness. Sometimes it looks like quiet compliance. A daughter calls and asks, "Mom, how are you?" The mom answers, "I'm fine." But fine can mean I haven't had a real conversation in 3 days. And when we step in with our caregiver who provides companionship, we see a shift. Because as we know, meals taste better when they're eaten with someone. Movement feels easier when it's part of a walk with someone versus pacing a hallway. Even taking medication feels less like a reminder of decline and more like a shared routine. One caregiver jokingly told me, "I think half my job is being there to laugh at his jokes. The other half is allowing him to tell me the same joke over and over again." And honestly, the laughter is probably more therapeutic than his pills. Because as great caregivers understand, it's the little moments that really aren't so little. While companionship may not always be grand, it's the small rituals that keep life steady. Like sitting at the table together every morning sipping coffee, even though one person barely drinks. Or staring out the window, debating on which one of the kids down the street knocked over the neighbor's trash cans. Or perhaps it's helping someone sort through old photo boxes, not just to organize them, but to let them tell their story in a series of snapshots. I know, those might sound like small things to you, but here's the thing. Older adults often measure their days not by the number of tasks that they checked off, but by the number of moments they shared. In fact, one client just told me, "I don't remember if we vacuumed on Saturday, but I do remember that Sarah showed me that video of her grandson trying to dance on TikTok." That made me laugh. Because it was in that moment the client and I realized, dust comes back, but joy sticks. So if your son, a daughter, or a grandchild, I want you to hear this. Home care isn't just about outsourcing chores. It's about ensuring your loved one has a life worth living while aging at home. And you might be worried, are they eating? Are they safe? Are they bathing? And these are all valid concerns. But here's the thing. I want you to also ask, are they laughing? Are they smiling? Are they feeling heard? Because this is where companionship steps in. And here's the kicker. Families benefit too. When you know your loved one isn't just cared for, but actually enjoying the company, you carry less guilt. You stop feeling like you left them alone because they're not alone. And caregivers, whether you're professional or family, this is your superpower. You might not have a medical degree. You might not know medical jargon. But if you can walk into someone's home and make them feel like they matter, that's a superpower. And that's priceless. Sometimes that means letting them teach you a few things, like how to play dominoes, how to plant a garden, or how to shuffle a deck of cards the right way. Sometimes that can mean leaning into their humor, even though they've told you the same corny joke 100 times. And sometimes it can mean being comfortable with silence. Sitting together in the same room, no rush, no agenda. That's not empty. That's sitting in silence in the presence. So let's make a commitment today. When we talk about home care, we will no longer talk about companionship as if it's an extra or a side next to an entree. Because at its core, companionship is caregiving. Because while tasks may keep someone alive, it's the companionship that makes someone feel alive. And honestly, that's what most families want for their loved ones. Not just years added to life, but life added to years. So if you remember one thing from this video, remember this. Companionship isn't a luxury in home care. It's the heartbeat of it. I'm Jerone with Azara, and I'll see you guys next time.